All right, what's up everybody? This video is a long time coming. By the time you're watching this, I am 25 years old. Just turned 25, I am Unk. And so the purpose of this video is I made a YouTube video 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. And one of the comments was it'd be really dope to see you like kind of explain your story and how you got to where you're at. And there's no better place to do it than right here. I'm in the same bedroom that I sat in a year ago when I first watched a trading video, and it has completely spiraled and opened up the avenues that I'm at now to where I've made over $100,000 in payouts in the last 90 days. And I posted bank statements as well as payouts to validate that. But I'm making this for you because if I think I'm going to be around in this space for a long time. And so I want this video to be, you decide if you want to follow me or if this is not the page for you, because I feel the calling to be completely open and transparent and to tell you my entire story. Because if I don't do that, there's some kind of fraudulent behind it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, this is the same bedroom I sat in a year ago. I'm 25. I was 24. And I was living with my parents at 24 years old. Just trying to decide like how I was going to change my life. And let's take a step back. As a kid, I'm from a very small town in Arkansas of about 10,000 people. And the normality here is not success. Like most people here just work a job that they get and they do it the rest of their life and they're not happy. And I'm not judging them for it, but success is not the ultimate outcome of this city. That's not the thing that you see here. And so I always knew I had a calling of like wanting to be better, but I didn't know where to channel that and what direction to go. So I did the most, average thing, and I went to college. But by the time I went to college, I was so, I just wanted to be a people pleaser. And at that time in my life, I was very like, I'll just do the drinking and the frat and just like try to be the cool guy. But when I look back now, I go like, I was just doing that because I wasn't facing that calling that you have in yourself. And I was just drowning it out through the noise and just not living up to my full normality, bro. And like, it's so sad because all those people that I thought were my day ones, now I look back and I go like, I don't care. Like at the end of the night, the only person that you are in your own head with is you. And you know when you're not making the right decisions to succeed. And I lived in that forever. So take it back 5 years, 4 years, 6 years ago. And I was sitting here just so wanting to people please and drink. And like, I wasn't really attacking these desires that I knew I had. And I was just so okay with living in mediocrity. After that, I went and I worked at Enterprise, the car rental place, right? Really special stuff. And I tried to convince myself that I liked it and I wasn't making a lot of money. And at that point, I ended up getting a job there in the car sales division. And I moved to Louisiana. And for a year and a half, I sold cars. That was the darkest time of my life. It's so crazy to look back and go like, the amount of agony that I was in, where every morning I woke up, I went, well, if I didn't wake up today, it wouldn't have even been the worst thing in the world. And I hated my life. And I drowned it out through video games and drinking and everything that you can think of. And I was just drowning it out and just praying for a way out. And I wasn't acting on it. And it got so bad to the point where my health was just not there. And I just felt so empty and there was no life. And it got so bad that I eventually just called my parents and was just like, I need out of this. Like, I need help. I'm 23 at this time, bro. Like, there's 18-year-olds. Some of you are killing it and you're doing so far ahead. But, like, I have to share my journey because I can't live in a lie. I have to show you, like, everything that I went through. So up until this point from 23 years old, like, dude, there was nothing there, nothing to show for. Every dollar that I made, I would spend on things that just ended up killing me, man. And it got to a point where I was just like, Mom, like, Dad, I need you guys to like help me and take me out of this. And they did. And they let me move here last September. And I was just trying to figure out the path, man. And I had no money at 23. And by the time December rolled around a year ago today, I was 24 and I had no money, like a 24-year-old with no money to his name. And, I was just like trying to finish college because I dropped out and like I wasn't doing anything except like just drinking. Like I was such a loser, bro. And I took a trip to New York and I basically spent like a lot of money that I had to just go on this trip because I needed some kind of motivation. And I went and just going to New York with my friend, like it opened me up and it opened up like the energy there and the possibility there of what you see is like this world commands more and there's so much opportunity and outlet out there. And like it was the first time in a very long time that like that feeling that I had as a child of like anything is possible, it unlocked it again. And so I came back from New York so inspired, but still no direction. And I was just like, what am I going to do? I want to do something great. Like, I know I'm meant to be great, but like, I don't know what to do. I got back here, and this was like a year ago almost. And I got on YouTube, and TJR Blueprint, like day one, showed up, right? And so from that point on, I watched that first video and I fell in love and I said, I'm going to be a trader. And God bless my parents because they were like, at the time, they were like, yeah, you have no money. Okay, this is just another one of those things. But like, I can't hate them because everything up to that point in my life, there was no success. So they had every right to be like, really, like that's the direction. And I'm saying this because some of you might be in that same situation. But like, I knew trading is the one for me. Like, I'm going to make this work. And so, like I said, I worked at Enterprise for a year and a half. And I had a 401k because when you work a corporate job, you have a 401k. And I had about $7,000 in that 401k. Or it was like 9K. But after I took out all the money, because you pay a lot of penalties when you take out your money, like it probably had like 6K after that. And that was all I had as a 24-year-old man at this time. And I said, Mom, Dad, I'm going to spend 4K of this on a trading mentorship. And they were like, are you being serious? This is all the money that you have and you're just going to spend it like that. And I said, it's going to pay off. Either this 6K just gets me by until what, or this is the investment that I take to try to make myself better. And they just absolutely were rejecting it. And they wanted me to win, but I hadn't given them proof of it yet. And I said, I'm going to spend the money anyways, because it's mine. And from that moment, every second that I spent from, it would have been January when I bought TJR's Blueprint, right? $4,000 up until May, I spent, and that's of this year of 2025, I spent every second that I had watching charts, watching videos, back testing, forward testing, watching the markets and saying, I am going to figure this out. I didn't adopt TJR's strategy because I found order flow rather quick because I found Barron through TJR and he kind of showed me a different level of trading. And then he said, well, there's so many different avenues. You're new, like you just got to find that fit for you. And he showed me Carmine Rosado order flow series. And then I watched that. And that was the moment that I fell in love with order flow. This was in March. So I'm 2 months into trading. And I fell in love with order flow so quick. But the problem is, at this time, this is March, I had less than $1,000 to my name. I just spent 4 of my 6K on the blueprint, then spent some on other mentorships and evals, and I was blowing it because I was new, and I was like, but I'm going to make this work. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do what it takes to make this work. And I was working a little side job at a elementary school, just trying to make a little money, just like every dollar that I can get so I could just spend on evals. And I passed 3 evals in March. And I had maybe $700 in my bank account. So, and this was with Top Step. So through the 3 evals and the activation fees, it was about $600. 150, 300, 450, and then the 3 evals was 600. So I spent basically all my money. And I was like, this is going to be the one. I blew those 3 evals in one Sunday open. I blew all my money. That was it. That was the last dollar basically that I had to my name at 24 years old. And I just remember walking in that room, in that bathroom right there, and looking at myself in the mirror like, bro, I cannot believe that you just did this. Like, that was it. That was it. That was the end of it. And so for the next month and a half, basically, I had to like ask my mom to basically pay for everything for me. Guys, I was 24 at this point. Just trying to figure it out. Like I know this is the life path that God had made out for me, but if I keep doing these mistakes and I keep blowing these opportunities, like, I can't win. And so looking at myself in the mirror, I went, I won't ever let that happen again. So I worked some more and, made probably $300-$400 a month just working like the most minimum amount of hours that you can. And I got Bookmap, my first order flow software. And by April, so a month later, I got a $2,500 payout from TopStep. You feel invincible with your first payout. You think that you are the greatest thing ever. And I did. I was like, this is the best. I made it. But, you got to put money aside for taxes. I was running an old laptop, so I actually ended up getting a PC, which was like half my money. So I got my first payout and really didn't have any money to show for it. I said, but I just proved to myself that I can get a payout if I just stick to this and I do the right thing and I just keep going and I don't stop and I just keep I just do the right steps and I follow my rules and I just keep being a student of the game and learning from those ahead of me, like all the greats in order flow. And then in May, I made like 5,000 in payouts. You give some out for taxes, but I still had, maybe, 5,000, but we'll say like I may have had a couple thousand in my bank at this point after everything, expenses, eating, all the above. And then shout out Eric. And I'm going to shout out Baron and Eric. Baron was who I found through TJR. And if you guys know Baron Trades, I live with him and Eric now. Like, they were the two that believed in me and were just like, dude, I know you're new at this, but like your knowledge is off the charts and your work ethic is like, if you just keep going, like you're going to be good at this. So I had that voice of confirmation of people saying like, those were the two voices of people my age, around my age, that were making money, basically saying like, you got this. We believe in you. And even though my parents by now were saying like, you're doing good, but I'm still so behind at my age, that Eric reached out to me because I told him, I was like, I just need a change of environment. I need some kind of like more spontaneity. I need some kind of like drive. And he was like, well, I got a house in Florida. And if you want to come live with me, I'll let you come here and, you can come here and see how that works and see if we can make something work from there. And so, my mom was very supportive. My dad, he was supportive, but he was like, like, this is a big deal. Like, you could go there and you could fail. And I was like, look, I've failed up to every point in my life. Like, this is the one. I am going to win. Like, this is the first time that I pursued something that I was happy and excited. Even though I didn't have much money, I was like, I will die to make this win. I will die to win at this game. I don't care what it takes. I will spend my last dollar on making sure that I win at this. And I just remember them being like, well, if it doesn't work out, you can always come live back here. And that was like what I needed to hear. yeah, if it doesn't work out, you can just come back and we'll just try something else. And I said, no, like, I'm going to make this work. So I drove 18 hours to Florida, new environment, with a PC, maybe $1,000 to my name at this point, because I was still blowing evals. I was still very new. My first month in Florida, this was in June, I made about $5,000 in payouts. July, I made about $5,000 again. August, I made about 20 to 25K. September, I made about 20, 25K. October, I made about 10 to 15K. That was 10, 15, 20K was around that. November, I made over $50,000 in payouts. So from the span of me taking that leap of faith and saying, I have no choice but to make this work because I'm good at this and I'm going to win. And I have such a passion for this that I'm going to become such a student of the game that I can show others how to win. But first, I have to win to make that happen. Once I got there, everything changed. Once I got that first 25K month in August and then followed it up in September with another 25K, I said, yeah, I'm in. Like, I'm unstoppable. I've done it now. I've done it. And I remember showing my mom like the payouts and like showing her my bank, and she was like, really? Like it happened that quick. And it did, man. It happened so quick, but I had people that believed in me to do it, but I also took the opportunities that were there. And I stuck with it, and I said, I'm going to win at this. And then November, like making 50K after, I was making 15, 20K a month the last 4 or 5 months before that. But I said, this one's different. I'm fully tapped into this game now. And I was adding all of the order flow, heat map, footprint, depth of market, deep charts, quant tower. I was doing it all. I was adding it all and just getting really good at it very quick. But it's only been the last 6 months that it's happened. Everything up to this point in my life has been mediocrity and lack of substance and lack of acting on the desires that I know I should chase. But the point of this is everything up to this point with me now being 25 doesn't matter, because every failure that I had up until this point has been completely reversed because of the success that I've had in 6 months. And I'm just getting started. Because I have 7 accounts right now, with about 5 of the accounts have about a 6 to 8, 9K balance on them. This is my life. I win. I'm a good trader. But it's because I stuck with it. And I didn't care to listen to those around me, because if I did, I would not be here. I would not be in the situation that I am now, coming back to my hometown, 6 figures liquid, and showing that all it took was a year. From the first moment that I watched that video to now, a year later, being in a completely different spot, being able to pay for everything that I could want, and the freedom and the capabilities and the life that I've always desired, I had to fail 24 years just to achieve it in 6 months. So wherever you're at, if you feel like nothing's working, good. Work harder. Keep going. Because it's going to feel like that. I didn't come from a rich family, and God bless my parents. They're the greatest people I know. And it's such a blessing that they let me move in with them at 24. 23. Like most, I don't know if all parents are like that. I used the cards that I was dealt, and they had their criticisms, but nonetheless they did believe in me, and I wasn't gonna let that die again. It's like, this one has to be different. Jaron, you're about to be a man, or you are a man. Like, you have to win now. Like, this is the only thing that matters. If you don't win now, like, are you gonna say, oh, by 30, oh, by 35, by 40? Like, this is the time. All it took was one 5K payout on one account for me to then buy one more account, have my account with the 5K balance after the 5K payout, and say, this account is now consistency. I will just get winning days on this account and stack it up. A lot of you get a payout and then you go, well, I got the payout on this account, but I guess I could just leverage it now because I got the payout. Don't do that. Say, this account is now consistency and I'm just going to run it up. The second account, I'm going to do the same thing. So now that account with 5K, even if you get 5 winning days, cool. Now you take a 3K payout. You have this account that you're running up as well, doing good on. So then you take the 3K payout on the first account that you had, and now you buy another account. You have 3. Now with the 3 accounts, you have the first one and the second one that are consistency, and the third one that you're going to run that up. And so now the other account, the first one, you take maybe a 2K payout, 3K payout. And I just want you to know, like, you don't feel the need to buy 5 accounts all at once to try to live up to some of these people that have 30 accounts in the industry and try to compare yourself to them. When I made my first 20K month in payouts, I'm not talking about like P&L. P&L wise, I was up like 40K. 20K payout. I did it with 2 accounts, mostly 1 account. But like, I added a second one probably a week and a half before the month was over. But that allows you to add the capability of scaling to add 3 accounts that you go, this is my consistent bill money and my job money. I'm treating this account as a job. So when I get the third or the fourth one, I go, hey, if I want to leverage this one to try to make more money, to leverage these props like they're intended to be used, I can do that. If I blow this 4th account, okay, that was the point of it. I'm not going to go revenge trade these other 3. I'm going to make sure they're locked with their winning day. Get a payout. Okay, I'll get the 4th one again. Now on that 4th one, you hit a 6K, 8K, 10K day. Now you take a 5K payout on that one. Now you got 3 accounts, 4 accounts that have a balance on them. But it all stemmed from 1 account. That's when it went. That's when it starts, guys. I am living proof that no matter your situation, no matter the amount of money that you have in your bank account, you can win at this game. I don't have the flashy story of, yeah, I was 18 and I was going to be a trader and then I moved to the city and just started. I love that for people, but I don't have that story, and most people don't. I want to be the voice of people that are struggling because I was and have been able to change my life and change the life of those around me. And so now there's people learning from me. I'm going to use Caleb as an example. He just got his first 10K month. But it all starts from just 1 account. Focus on that one. Build the one. Once you get that payout, lock the first one until the next day. Get the winning day just to get the reps. Build up the second. The scaling happens really quick when you don't allow the greed to step in, because if you keep your accounts, you don't have to buy more accounts, so you're saving more money, right? It's just, it's wild, like, looking at this room right now and just thinking about me a year ago, looking around and just thinking, what am I going to do, to now sitting here going, like, I made that happen in a year. You can win. I won, you can win. And I'm nowhere near I'm going to be. I promise you. That's why I made this video, because some of you may go, oh, you haven't been trading long enough. That's fine. Go. One thing I can assure you is that I have been able to make over 100,000. I'm closer to 150 in the last 6 months in my first year of day trading. And I'm just getting started. But I don't want you to follow me if that doesn't align with you. If you want to follow the guy that, he made some kind of, grand, he flipped whatever to whatever, and like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like, just the story of like being rich and then making it richer. Like, did it at a young age, been trading 8 years. That's fine. Like, seriously, do your role, man. But I can't sit here and lie and say that I've been this guru for all this long, guys. It's been a year, but that's my story, and I have the payouts and I have the bank statement to back it up. But I'm a student of this game, and I can assure you one thing: everything that I do, every video that I make, is going to be full transparency. It's going to be showing you my journey and the trades that I've taken, and I'm not content with making six figures like this. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning for me. Like, this will not be. This is not my "oh, I made it" moment. This is me saying the intro's now done. Now the work begins, because that's all it takes for you. The one payout, keeping that account, and then adding the second. Don't add four more after that first payout. Make it normal to win. Stop putting success on a pedestal. Stop putting it out of reach for you to win. Because they say the statistic is what? 90% of day traders fail? Doesn't that take into account, or 99%? Doesn't that take into effect the guy that tried it for 2 days and gave up? Believe that you're exceptional. Believe that you have what it takes to win. And I promise you, no matter the failures that you've had in your life up to this point, that you watch this, because I had them. Once you make it, it doesn't matter. Once you make it, it doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, you look back and you go, wow, like I, I really did that. That version of me would look at me right now and would go, you did it. Like, I'm so proud of you. And I just want that for all of you, because this has been the single greatest year of my life. And it was the 1 year that I followed the passion and the purpose that I had instilled for myself. And it's been a crazy year, man. I don't know. I hesitated to make this video, but it just had to. It had to be made. Like, it really did. But yeah, that's the main point, guys. That's the main point of this video, is I want you to understand that you're exactly where you need to be, regardless of how hard it feels, regardless of the maybe the pain that you're in when you wake up. I promise you, the moment that you succeed, every bit of pain that you've went through in your life, it will all be worth it for that moment. But you just got to keep going. Like, you have to just keep going. You can't stop. You cannot stop. You can't live the life of the what if. If you know your purpose, and it doesn't even have to be day trading. I'm sure it is for you if you're watching this, but it doesn't even have to be day trading. If it's anything that brings you purpose, if it's being a mailman, be the best damn mailman that you can be. Whatever it is that makes you wake up in the morning to be so excited to conquer the day and to grow as a human being and to just live a more fulfilling and enriched life, just attack it daily. But for those of you that are watching me because you trade, understand this. If I made it, if I, Jaron McDonald, made this, you will too. The fact that you sat through this video and watched this, and that you probably related to a lot of the stuff that I'm saying, and you might be younger than me, and you might have not even went through a lot of the trials and hardships that I did, guess what? You're there. You're so close. As a matter of fact, you are already profitable. Stop putting it out of reach to be profitable. Stop making it a big deal. It's our job as traders to make money. So when you make money, don't be proud of yourself. Say, yeah, that's the job. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And I'm going to do it again the next day. Because if you keep trying to hit 5 to 10K days, okay, that's one thing. But what if you just make 300 to 400 a day? and you just say, I'm going to do that every single day, I promise you in 3 months, your life is going to be completely different. Don't ever stray away from doing what you know you're supposed to do. Because when you overtrade and you over leverage, you oversize, you revenge trade, and you act on emotions, you know deep down that voice in your head is telling you should have stopped, but you did it anyways. When you stop following your rules, you're just setting yourself back and you're holding yourself back from being successful. Stop standing in the way of your success because you have exactly what it takes. You have all the knowledge, all the resources, all the capabilities of being as rich as you want and as prosperous as you want and as abundant as you want and as profitable as you want. You have it. You have it. It's yours. It's yours for the taking. But you got to believe it. You have to believe in yourself when no one else does. So my challenge to you after watching this video is from every moment here on out, you spend every second on getting better. You don't watch a video and then immediately break the rules. You apply what you learn, and then you lock your account, and then you do it again, and then you lock your account, and you do it again, and you say, I don't care if this is getting boring. I'm not chasing the dopamine hit, and I am just going to do what it takes to win, and I'm just going to do it every day consistently. I promise you what your life is going to look like in 3 months, and let's just call it a year. You're going to be unrecognizable to those around you, but to yourself. Because if I look back at the old self that I was, I killed him. He's not even alive. It's not even in my DNA to be a loser because I completely shifted the way that I have lived in a paradigm of success. Like that is what I breathe. That is what I work for. That is who I am. It is impossible for me to lose because that's not of my nature. And you're the same way. But first, you got to give yourself proof of that. And I've given myself proof of that at this point. And now I know what it takes to win. And I've seen the results of it. Do the same for yourself. Stop holding yourself back. And when it gets hard, good. Your story is going to be even better. So that's all that I have for this video. I needed to make this on my 25th birthday. I'm going to keep making more deep charts videos. I'm going to make another one tomorrow going over some of the trades from last week. I did take a couple good trades on Friday in front of my Discord, but I just want this to be a good video for you to understand that making it is not a comparison to the other people around you. It's your story. It's your life. Compare yourself to you. And don't try to win in a day of, I need to make 100K in a day or 10K in a day. The days stack up. And if you just wake up every day with the intention of, I'm going to follow my rules and extract money from the market and then be grateful. I'm going to lock my account and I'm going to do it again the next day. And I'm going to do this every day for the rest of my life. You have no choice but to win. You cannot lose when you don't allow yourself to. So I love you all. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I'm very grateful to be here and speak like this. But I'm telling you, it's just crazy to see just how quick it changed for me. It doesn't have to take you a long time. It doesn't. But if you keep holding yourself back, you'll never achieve it. Stop standing in your own way. Become that version of you that you know is successful and follow in those footsteps.